Hi guys, I'm Danny. So in this video I thought I would do a Voodoo doll makeup to go alongside my Voodoo Master makeup. So for this makeup I'm starting off by putting on a bald cap, blocking out my eyebrows, and you'll also notice that I've left my ears covered up with the bald cap. And I'm going to put down a base colour. So for this I've mixed together Snazaroo's Clown White face paint with a small amount of Snazaroo light brown face paint to get this tan colour. And I'm going to apply this very roughly all over my face, the bald cap, and also the top part of my body, so my neck and the top of my chest. Now this doesn't have to be neat at all because we want as much texture as possible to be left in for this makeup. So once you've got the base down, what you want to do is to take a highlight colour. So I've just added more white into that same mix, and I'm now going to apply this over the high points of my face. So that's my forehead, the bridge of my nose, the tops of the cheekbones, and also my chin. Now once I've put that colour on really roughly, I'm then going to take a stippling sponge and just run that over the top to try and get more texture onto the makeup. So then what I want to do is to build up the shadows. So I'm taking Snazaroo's light brown face paint with no white added onto it, and I'm just going to apply this where you would normally apply your contour. So that's the temples, the sides of the nose, the cheekbones, and also along your jawline. Now you want to apply this again quite roughly, but make sure you spread the colour out so it's kind of nice and even. So now I'm taking Snazaroo's dark brown face paint and I'm going to apply this over the top of the areas that we've just done. Again, you want to keep this very, very rough and go over it with the stippling sponge. And I'm now taking Snazaroo's Clown White face paint on that stippling sponge, and I'm just very lightly applying this over the top of the highlighted areas. And then you want to take that brown face paint and apply this to the top of the bald cap and blend it down. I'm now taking the colour Bark from Sleek's Au Naturel palette, and I'm going to use this to plot on the lines of where the stitches are going to go. So I'm going to do a curved line across my skull, I'm going to do one vertical line down my face and down my nose, and I'm also then going to take another line across my lips onto my cheeks. This is where all the stitches are going to go, so you're just putting this on at the moment as a guideline. And then what I want to do is to take a blending brush and just to blend that colour down on one of the sides of the lines. So for the skull I'm going to take that colour and blend it downwards, and for the centre of the face I'm going to pick one side and blend that colour that way, leaving the other side completely free of the colour. What this is going to do is it's going to give us that nice overlapping effect. Now I'm also taking that same colour Bark on that blending brush, and I'm just going to again go over the top of this line just to really blend that down and get a nice gradient going. So then what I'm going to do is to take the colour Regal from that same Sleek palette on a very fine detail brush. I'm just going to run this along the original line that we had put down with the Bark colour. Now what this is going to be the darkest point of the scar, so you want to make sure that no colours go above the top of this line. You want to blend everything down, so what I'm now taking is a small amount of that same colour, very, very small, on a fluffy blending brush and just going on top of this line to make sure it's all blended into that gradient. So once you've done this to the rest of the scars, what you want to do is to start working on the stitches. So I'm taking Snazaroo's Clown White face paint mixed in with a very small amount of Snazaroo light brown to get a cream shade, and I'm going to use this colour to make the stitches. So for this there isn't any exact pattern that you've got to follow. Basically you just do a couple of lines, a few X's, make the lines going in different directions. Basically what you want here is for these stitches to look like they've been hand done by somebody who can't sew. So basically just apply these all over those lines that you had done, and then once that's done you want to take that Regal colour again on a smaller, denser brush, and you want to apply this colour to the bottom of each one of those stitches. Now this is going to make it look like it's going into your skin, and then once you've got that you can then slightly taper that colour off into that cream shade ever so slightly to make it look like it's a little bit more 3D. So once you've added that detail on there to the stitches, what you want to do is to take Snazaroo's Clown White face paint on its own with no other colour mixed into it, and you want to use this as your highlight shade. So now with those stitches, the cross-shaped ones, one of the pieces of thread would be above the other. So what you want to do is to apply this highlight shade to that top thread only. Now this is going to make the other thread look like it's underneath the top one. So this is going to make it all look a little bit more three-dimensional. So what I'm doing here is adding a bit more texture to the makeup, so I'm just doing a crosshatch style pattern on the side of my face using Snazaroo's Clown White face paint again. I just thought this would add a bit more texture to that makeup. And then for the mouth, what I'm doing is taking the colour Noir from that same sleek palette, which is the black colour, and I'm going to run this in between each one of the stitches on my mouth. Now I wanted the mouth scar to be the deepest, because obviously, you know, it's a mouth, so I'm leaving that till last because I want that colour to be quite intense. Now I lost a clip there for the eyes, so I do apologise, but what I did was apply a very light purple face paint to my eyelid, just to add a bit of a purpley tone, and I'm now taking that dark brown face paint again by Snazaroo, and I'm just going to apply this really roughly on top of that, and again, apply it all over the top of that eye, heading up towards the top of the skull. Just really roughly apply this to add a bit more darkness and shade around the eyes. So then I thought about it and actually wanted the purple to be more intense so it would match up with my Voodoo Master makeup. So I'm applying Snazaroo's purple face paint really roughly again over the top of this and just blending it out and setting it with Sugarpill's Poison Plum eyeshadow. Just in case this makeup wasn't creepy enough, I wanted it to look like the head of the voodoo doll had been reattached onto the body. So what I've done is just created the scar and the stitches in the exact same way that I had done for the rest of the face, just to make it look a little bit more interesting. And then I'm taking Snazaroo's dark brown face paint and I'm just going to apply this really roughly over my chest and neck and in between those stitches that I had just done, just to make it look a little bit more worn and add a bit more texture to the rest of the makeup. So then to finish the makeup off, I'm just going to line my top and bottom waterline using Ingot's black gel eyeliner, and once I've done this I'm going to add a little bit more detail to the chest, doing that cross-hatch pattern with the Snazaroo Clown White face paint, and then once you've done this, the makeup is complete. So I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, remember to rate, comment and subscribe. Let me know in the comments section down below if there's any certain tutorials or looks that you want to see this Halloween, and if there is, I'll see if I can get those done for you. But until the next video guys, I'll see you all soon.